folks. Welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Welcome, folks.
And Phil, coming live to you from Hawaii.
Got my beautiful palm tree shirt on. My wife picked that out for me. And I want to welcome everybody to another exciting edition of Treasure Talk. And of course, we've got an excellent guest, because we always do.
Yeah,
Jeff
we
knows,
do.
Yeah, Jeff knows how to pick them. He sure does. And it was everybody wish Jeff a happy one day late birthday. It was his birthday yesterday.
It's
So
officially older than dirt.
okay, I don't think so, Jeff. But I guess we better get our show rolling here today. It looks like we got a bunch of people in the chat already. At least I can see a bunch on YouTube.
Yeah, we got a professional actor in the chat. You know,
Oh, do we? Jeez, that's always nice.
You know,
Yes.
the big Nazich.
Yeah, Mr. Vino himself.
That's right.
But as always, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And the views, thoughts, opinions expressed here by the Treasure Talk guest and member belong solely to the guest and member, and not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Jeff Monin. And the most important part, as always, is the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of treasure hunting and metal detecting in all forms, and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And we're going to do that tonight, like we
Yes,
all.
yes, we are indeed. It's going to be a very, very informative show. You know, there's been a lot of changes going on, and I'm sure that people are really wanting to find all that kind of stuff out. So, you know, just a quick update from the shop on you're waiting now again on Manticores, correct?
Yes, Manticores are sold out, but we do have plenty of Equinoxes, 700, 900s. We still have a few of the Legend in stock. We're still waiting for the new upgraded Legend. And I see Tom Becker, Jocelyn just told me, said, my shirt looks awesome. Thank you. I think it looks awesome too. I love the palm trees and the black. We do the show every week. Martin Bishop said, thanks for the show, and we should do it every week. We do it every week. He knows that.
Well, it was a holiday today, so some people,
yes,
you know, could have been imbibing.
Yeah, we could have got away with staying home, but we're just so devoted to this hobby and this show that we just do it for sure.
That's right.
Oh, everybody says happy birthday to Jeff. Oh, and one thing I wanted to remind folks, hit the little like button on, I guess it's on YouTube. Little, I think it's the hands up button. Nobody hit that hands up button, or I'll be
thumbs up.
The thumbs up, yes.
Yep.
Or I'll be disappointed. And Jimmy and I noticed you cleaned up nice, Phil.
Yeah, you cleaned up nice.
I'm always clean. Yes, I do some work around my house on Monday, so I do clean up nice. I used to have ink on my hands, no more.
So, and you've got now, as I understand it, the new Nocta Simplex Ultra should be about ready to ship then, correct?
Yes, it looks like it's going to be ready to ship, because Dalik had Facebook messaged me, because we did have a winner on the show. And if she's asking about that, make sure we got the winner to her. She must be thinking they're getting ready to ship those, Jeff.
Yeah, I think so. So the winner was Country Diggers. That was Jamie Crawford. So I have to go back and check my emails, and I'll resend it.
Yeah, resend it to her, because she's over in Turkey. I wouldn't want to call her. It's in the middle of the night there. We'd be waking her up.
Yeah, so we'll get all that done, and so you just kind of you've got all the Motley product.
Yes, Motley's in.
Stock.
I was just showing Jeff earlier. I got their style of shovel in. Of course, got some grass knives, they call them. And I have their scoops. I have a bunch of different colors in their scoops. And I don't have them on my website. That's the trouble with me. A lot of stuff takes a little long on the website, but we do have them in stock. So for sure, we'll have them on the website soon.
Yeah,
Have them in stock. So I think I'm going to do a video sometime this week of the different scoops I have, because I probably have 5 different manufacturers and several different models of each. So I probably have, I would think, 25 different scoops in stock.
Yeah,
Sell. So if you can't find it here, it probably isn't made.
that's right. So we'll have that on next week's show. It'll be our commercial. There'll probably be some kind of a pro actor in it,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if I can get him not to do those wine dinners or go to Disney. He likes that Disney a lot.
But he likes the wine dinners where he whines. Oh well, we better cut the comedy and get on with the show.
Yeah, do our regular job. Quit the
That's
comedy.
right. So everybody, our guest tonight is Blake Carmichael, the owner of Blue 3 Nemo, and we're going to talk tonight about
One more.
what's going on with the Nemo, the Nomad Mini. You can't decide. Everything Blake's going to tell you tonight will help you decide. So it's going to be really, really good, very informative. So if you got your questions, Jocelyn will pick some up. I'll pick some up. And I know there's going to be a lot of them. We'll get them answered, asked and answered. And hopefully then you can make a decision on which one that you want, the Nomad Mini or the Nomad. So let's bring on our guest for tonight, Blake from Blue 3 Nemo. Hi, Blake.
Hey.
How
How's
you
it going?
doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
We're glad you're here, Blake, because we've got a bunch of questions. We've got some in the feed already. So first, tell us where you're at and the temperature over there.
Yeah, so I'm at home in Pompano Beach, Florida. We did have the day off today. Got some diving in over the weekend, some nice calm weather. I'd say it's definitely broke the 80s today. Water temperature is 83 or 84 Fahrenheit. So I tend to get a bit happier this time of year as the water temperature goes up.
Boy, the weather must have calmed down. We were in Daytona last week, the Mumbles man and myself. And I'm going to tell you what, it was far from calm. It was rough even for Daytona and very rainy and stormy. So maybe a little further south, you guys must have had it better, huh?
Yeah. There's some energy in the ocean offshore right now. The visibility is still a little bit silty close to shore, but it's been fairly calm close to shore. Out further into the sea in the middle of the Gulf Stream is a little bit rough, but good right offshore for us. So,
well, that's good.
What's your average visibility over there when you're diving in your area?
It varies quite a bit. So we have the Everglades that dumps out and kind of messes it up sometimes. But you can get 30, 40 foot viz fairly frequently. So I'd say it's relatively nice. But then, of course, if you go down, just drive a few hours down to Islamorada in the Keys, it gets even better down there. But we have some, even when it's blown out, when it is rough on shore, on the coast, we have a couple good spots inshore, primarily Blue Heron Bridge in West Palm. So if anybody is in the South Florida area looking for good dive spots, this is one of the most amazing spots. We dove the Nomad Mini prototypes there last weekend. We actually saw a couple spotted eagle arrays. You'll see massive starfish, maybe some octopus, moray eels, and it's all along a nice artificial reef trail in about 7 feet of water.
Got it.
There's some bridges around there. So if you look up Phil Foster Bark or Blue Heron Bridge, it's an amazing spot. And so come down and dive it with us in South Florida here.
Awesome. Hey, before we get started with the different models, let's just, I guess, get this one question out of the way. And it's from Bag Hera 2021. Are there plans to add the dive boost kit to the standard Nomad instead of just the Mini?
That's a great question. And so just to clarify what the question is really asking is the dive boost is a new feature that we've added to the Nomad Mini, which gives you the ability to add multiple batteries on a single unit to extend the runtime. And in the case of Nomad Mini, it also extends the base depth rating from 10 feet with one battery to 15 feet maximum depth when you have two or more batteries connected. And so the question is, will we have that ability for Nomad? I would say that that's definitely in long-term future plans. I don't have a timeline on it, but it's definitely something that I want. I want to be able to dive a Nomad with the dive boost kit. So yeah, we'll make that happen at some point.
Well, maybe we should explain the difference between the Nomad and the Nomad Mini, what's happening with the Nemo, because most of the people are very familiar with the Nemo. So why don't we go all over that, and so they can get it kind of straight in their minds.
Yeah, great. And part of the reason we did replace or switch over to the Nomad Mini as the name is to kind of simplify things a little bit. So we do have Nemos in stock. We're building them for the time being, but they will be phased out and ultimately replaced by Nomad Mini. So Nemo is the first product we launched as a company, Blue. We've been in the industry for about 40 plus years now with Brownie's Third Lung, but we started Blue to focus on single diver compact systems. So all out of the same warehouse, but a new brand, new technology, and a new vision, really. And so Nemo we launched in 2019 with a goal of just focusing on ultimate portability and convenience. So the max depth was 10 feet, which to many people is obviously quite limiting, but the portability factor and just ease of setup and convenience is second to none. So 10 feet actually turns out to be really effective for many of people who are treasure hunting and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but of course we got some feedback that, hey, I love this little device, but I'd love to go a little deeper than 10 feet. And so with Nomad, we bring it up to 30 feet max depth, which simultaneously made the battery bigger. The motor is more complex, more expensive to build, and the overall unit's weight is a bit heavier and larger. So whereas Nemo is 10 pounds for 10 feet, Nomad is 15 pounds for 30 feet. Me personally, the diving that I do most of the time, I will take that trade-off. I'll take the extra depth for the added weight. However, if I was going to go and dive in the Peace River or something like that, looking for fossils, or shallow lake looking for metal detecting, then I probably would take a Nemo just because it's a little bit lighter. So now Nomad Mini kind of bridges that gap in between Nemo at 10 feet and Nomad at 30 feet. So Nomad Mini has the portability and similar size, weight, convenience of Nemo, but it gives you the ability to get to a depth of 15 feet now. So Nomad Mini at max depth 15 feet and Nomad at max depth 30 feet is going to be the lineup moving forward.
So there's basically like a 5-pound difference between Nemo and the Nomad Mini, right?
So Nemo and Nomad Mini are roughly the same weight.
Oh, okay.
So Nomad Mini is a little over 11, about 12 pounds. Nomad's 15 pounds, which doesn't sound like much, but when you consider the size and kind of ergonomics of it, the extra space in the backpack for more batteries and things like that, it really is more portable.
Hey, Sam Truckley asked if the Blue Nemo phases out, will there be able to be parts or repairs made for the Blue Nemo?
Yeah, for sure. We're going to keep servicing Nemos as needed. The number of different parts that really ever need replacing are pretty few. So that's not a big hurdle or concern for us to maintain parts for service.
And then Tom Beckert asked, do any of your models have a buoyancy compensator BC built in?
The way that we dive and teach to use the equipment is really just to achieve neutral buoyancy with your weight belt. And so because you aren't carrying a scuba tank on your back that's changing buoyancy throughout the dive, you don't really need to compensate for that change throughout the dive, which is part of what a buoyancy compensator does in a scuba set. So when you're diving a blue tankless dive system in general, if you get your neutral buoyancy, so you have your weight belt, and a great way to do this is in shallow water where you can just stand. You get down there, take your first best guess at the weight, and then when you inhale, you should float up a little bit. And when you exhale, you should float down a little bit, but you should hover about the same depth. So you shouldn't have to spend any extra effort swimming to stay at that same depth. That's going to use a lot more air. Right. So the shorter answer is no. We don't have a buoyancy compensator with any of our units, but I know some people have tried it out. And for surface buoyancy, if that's the goal, the Nemo flotation tube offers about 22 pounds of buoyancy. And then the dry bag float, which we show with the Nomad and with the Nomad Mini, 40 pounds of buoyancy. So while you're at the surface, if you wanted something to hold on to, you can grab either of those. And for reference, a Type 1 PFD life jacket is minimum rating is 22 pounds of buoyancy. So they're both above that.
Okay, good.
Now, Blake, are you going to have to be dive certified to use either the Mini or the regular Nomad?
Same as what we've been doing. So dive certification is always recommended. But what our training course teaches, so we have a fully free online training course that's been developed with some leading scuba instructor trainers. And so the process for that training course is that it teaches you the fundamentals, similar things that you would learn in a scuba course. And then it kind of walks you through how to practice these skills in a pool or a shallow water environment. So it's not that you just take this online course and suddenly expect that you can go dive in open water. It actually teaches you how to practice these skills, become proficient in a shallow water controlled environment before you go out, so that when you do get out into the current, and let's say you need to ditch your weight belt, or if your regulator comes out of your mouth, you know how to handle that already because you've practiced it in a controlled environment. So the online course does guide you through that, but we also now have some guided tour locations coming out. So we have one here in Lauderdale by the Sea, and if you're coming down to Blue Heron Bridge, we hope to have some tours running there soon. We've also got one going in Deep Dive Dubai, which is the deepest swimming pool in the world over in Dubai, where they've created a kind of post-apocalyptic underwater adventure. So lots of cool stuff going on with guided tours where you can go out and have an authorized blue dive guide take you through the tour. It's not necessarily a course, it's more of an experience, but you can learn hands-on that way and, ask questions.
Okay, so there's the same procedure. This is when you, like say you got a Nomad Mini. For those, maybe it could be their first time buyer. They still need to take the little course before they get the Nomad Mini, correct? Like you did with the Nemo?
Yeah, just like Nemo and just like Nomad. So you're provided with a link to the course, and you don't necessarily need to take it before you receive the product. But before you use the product for the first time, you need to take the online course and then follow its instructions. There's some instructional videos showing you how to practice skills in a pool, or if you don't have access to a pool, find a shallow water environment with good visibility, no currents, and an area where you can stand up, like waist deep waters.
So it's really good to practice with it, not just, okay, I can do this and out I go, because that's not something that should be done, right?
Right. There's skills. Humans are far from perfect for going into the underwater world. We have to have these masks and We can't even swim against the current without fins on, so you have to really train yourself on, how to properly use these things. Even just down to how to kick with fins is something we show you in the training course, and something you should really practice, because if you're kicking but not effectively using your fins in the right way, you're going to waste a lot of energy, and you're going to breathe a lot harder than somebody with a good stroke kick. So when you do work on becoming more efficient underwater, which can come in many different ways, better use of your fins, better buoyancy, so getting your neutral buoyancy, better trim in the water, so you're swimming like this and not like this. All of these things make you a better diver, make you kind of consume less air. You can be more calm in the water and more prepared to handle things in case of any sort of emergency.
And just have a much more enjoyable time.
Exactly. And so that is the number one goal of our training course, is to teach you how to have an enjoyable time with the equipment. And it does take a little bit of effort to, get your buoyancy right the first time and so on. But if you spend that time, you invest that energy in your first dives, it's going to pay off immensely down the road.
Yeah, I took the course, and I've used the Blue Nemo in the pool 3 times, but I haven't taken it out in the Gulf yet. And that's my goal this year, to do sometime and start using it a little more. And I was just fascinated in the pool, just sitting on the bottom, swimming around without, breathing underwater. I just think it was really fascinating. So I can't wait to get out in the Gulf with it a little bit, see what's going on, and then use it in metal detection. So.
It is so much fun in the pool. It can be kind of a really relaxing experience. Nobody can call you on the phone down there.
On the bottom for 20 minutes, not do anything. It's just fascinating.
Yeah, I agree. I need to do more pool diving.
So when are the Nomad Mini going to be available, Mike?
Yeah, so Nomad Mini is available for pre-order right now. Our estimated first ship date is in July, so toward the end of July, it looks like. So we've been working very hard to keep that on timeline. We've been working on this product for a while. We really go in depth, just thinking about all of the little things. Simplicity is really challenging.
It can be, trying to, to keep it, keep the quality, keep it simple, where everybody can, when your brain is more technical, let's say,
Yeah.
So what the retail, what's Phil going to be able to sell it for in the shop?
Yeah, so Nomad Mini is coming out at the same price that Nemo was set at, $12.99 with 1 battery. Right now, the pre-order special, if you pre-order it, and this is going through the month of June, you get the Dive Boost kit included, which is a attachment for the bottom of the unit that can carry an extra battery with electronics that split one connector off into 2. And it's not just, one connector going into 2 connectors. There's a circuit board that handles the paralleling of lithium batteries, which is not something that you can just wire together. Paralleling lithium ion batteries is typically not something you can do. So there's special electronics in there. So that Dive Boost kit comes included. And this is really great for people who already own Nemos, because, with this, you can use your existing Nemo batteries and then power your Nomad Mini with 2 of those batteries at one time, and now extend your depth from 10 feet to 15 feet, which is pretty awesome.
Cool.
I saw that question too, Jeff. Is there some type of warning when the battery is running out?
Yeah. So the warning that you get on a Nomad system, so Nomad or a Nomad Mini, is a pulsating behavior as the battery goes lower. And so this starts out fairly subtle, but it's noticeable. And over the course of 5 to 10 minutes, it will become more and more frequent. And so it's actually in the airflow, a small kind of sputter, you'll feel it, and it gets more and more noticeable. So that means it's time to start making your way to the surface and turning back to your exit point. Although turning to your exit point should be more geared by your expected runtime, and then kind of monitoring your dive time throughout the dive. So some dive planning things come into play, always changing based on where you're entering and exiting.
All right. Well, like Tom Becker had a question. Do you metal detect? Have you metal detected with your Nemo?
I've done more looking for megalodon teeth. I've played with a pulse dive a couple times. I didn't get lucky. I wouldn't have expected to. I need a proper lesson though.
Okay.
So I might come teach you how to take your Nemo out in the ocean, and you can teach me how to use my metal detector.
There you go. Hey, so what other equipment when you're doing your looking for megalodons? Are you digging any in the sand, or are you just scanning?
So I've only been fossil hunting a few times. One time with some very experienced guys out in the Peace River. Been back to Venice a few times, but I would not take advice from me on searching for megalodon teeth.
Just asking because Tom Becker had asked what tools you use besides the small scoop or something to recover targets.
Yeah, typically when I'm diving, I'm shooting video, or in some cases test diving when we're building new products like Nomad Mini, or just kind of enjoying it. If I see some lionfish, I will spear a lionfish because they're an invasive species here, and we need to remove them from the reefs. But aside from that, I tend to just take video or kind of meditate.
So if somebody was going to do, metal detecting, you definitely need a weight belt, correct? Like if you're doing any kind of diving, even with the Nomad Mini. As far as your metal detector, yes, Tom, I think you can take your Deus 2 down there. Any of the metal detectors you have, you can use. If you for a scoop, sometimes it depends on the bottom. I think you can fan, or Phil's got some nice hand scoops in the shop.
Yeah, I guess it would be easier if it was a plastic tool, but then they don't work as good as a metal scoop would work. But yeah, a hand scoop might get the job done for sure. And then Jocelyn was just telling me Mermaid Treasure Hunter said Blake should take Phil a Nomad Mini for trade them, and it's hard for me to see the screen, but trade them for a Nomad Mini and a detector that could take each other out. That's exactly what we were just talking about. Yeah, for
I like
sure.
it.
Yeah,
We
All
did
you
have,
gotta do is pick the spot.
yeah.
we did have. This is quite a little lengthy, but this I think we need to pop up here. Can you see that, Phil, to read it?
Yeah, a little bit. I have the Nemo, and I love it. Best Christmas gift I've received last year. And the Blue Nemo customer service is excellent. I knocked off my top cap, my air supply tube with the pulse dive and lost it in the water. I use the Nemo so much in the Florida Springs that I get so cold my teeth cut to the mouthpiece from biting it too hard. Blue 3 was able to send them parts right out to me ASAP. That's good customer service for Blue. Thanks, Blue 3 team.
And that's from Charles Carter.
So he must be cold in that water, that spring water. Everybody thinks
The spring gets a little chilly, yeah.
Yeah, everybody thinks Florida water is nice and warm, like the Gulf gets up to 90. But those springs, I think, are in the 70s. At least they are over here, like 72.
Yeah. Yeah, if you spend an hour or so, you're getting shivers at that point. Well, thanks. Thank you, Charles, for the comment. That's awesome. We'll be sharing that comment in the morning meeting tomorrow for sure. And that always, is really cool to see. So shout out to Daphne, David, and Jack from the customer service team.
Yeah.
One of them probably handled that. So very cool.
Well,
Yeah,
it's always nice when you've got people in your organization that you know have the best interest of the customer at heart. That makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
That's what it all comes down to. And comments like that are what keep us going. So
And you've got a pretty good team assembled, I think. Yeah.
yeah, I've had people call me and ask me a question I didn't have the answer for, and I said, "Well, call over to Blue 3," and they called them and got it taken care of what they needed. So yeah, awesome customer service. And I will say this: the Diggin' Canucks at 72 degrees for them is bathwater.
That's probably right.
She's up in Canada. And then Ricky T had said for fanning the bottom, he heard using a ping pong paddle works really well. So I don't have experience doing that. So, but I imagine it would clear some sand pretty quick.
That's right. But you probably still need to buy a hand scoop from Myers.
Yes. Yes. Still need the hand scoop. Have that disc hooked to your dive belt. So you've got both things.
So we're looking at July for the Nomad Mini, and you said you do have a few Nemos still left in stock. You're going to move those out and then fill the supply chain with the Nomad Mini, then, correct?
yeah, that's right. We'll be selling Nemos a little bit longer. Probably about the same time we'll start shipping Nomad Minis. The Nemos are going to run out. So Nemo is actually on a sale right now, a $300 sale. So that's kind of our phase out sale as we transition over to Nomad Mini. And I'm very excited to start getting some feedback on Nomad Mini. We've kind of gotten the first prototypes and through their testing. And so now we've got some beta units out in the field, and we just shipped one over to Michael Oliver, who's a fairly popular metal detector on YouTube.
Yeah.
He's in Australia, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. And he uses almost exclusively anymore, uses the Nemo,
Yep.
which now is going to be the Nomad Mini, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's primarily used the Nemo. And then on his deeper dives, he uses the Nomad. So he's going to be trying the Nomad Mini now. And, he's probably got, I would guess that Michael Oliver has the most dives in the world on Blue products. Just the amount of time he spends out there. So
Yeah.
Getting feedback from him on the Nomad Mini is really exciting for me.
Yeah, and this one is from Sam. Is the deal for the Nomad the end of June? And is that $300 for the Nemo or $300 off the Nemo? And it's $300 off the Nemo.
That is correct. Yes, yes. And the deal
And
for
the
the
pony
Nomad
up the cash, Samo.
And I still have a couple Nemos in stock here too. So
okay, great.
If you need to get it, we've got it on sale. So
the Nomad Mini deal with the dive boost kit, the free dive boost kit, that's going through the end of June. Correct.
awesome.
Great.
So Blake, you're going to have are there a lot of pre-orders in for the product? Do you think if someone pre-orders something today, will they get that in July, or is it going to be? Because I know with the supply chain issues, people pre-order stuff and then get it 6 months later. If somebody were to pre-order today, would they see that in July, or is that going to be?
We do expect, if things stay on track, July. There's certainly a couple things that have to go right. We are waiting on, incoming shipment of a few parts. We've had to tweak a couple things. So it's possible it could push into the next month, maybe up to a month after. But right now, everything's on track. So we're working our hardest to keep it on track. And I think July is a good bet.
And if it was going to be behind a little bit, you keep the people advised every step of the way, don't you, Blake?
Yeah, absolutely. There's not too many parts that are in play. There's just a few things tweaking, the fit of the battery, for example. Molding new parts, just minor tweaks. Should go smoothly, so not too concerned.
Now, is the The color scheme basically the same. The bright
Yep.
yellow tube and the blue batteries and that kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of a black base with a nice blue foam. It's different than the Nemo foam. So if you're a Nemo owner, the Nomad Mini foam is a little bit lighter blue, much higher quality. Really, it's got a nice molded texture to it. So yeah, this is a new variation in buoyancy. With the Nomad, we went to a rotomolded shell, which has the hard plastic on the outside and then is injected with foam on the inside. There's some nice things about that, but with Nomad Mini, we've found this new foam manufacturing process that I think is really nice.
Now, will it have the backpack like the Nemo has? We have the whole kit transporting.
Fits in the same backpack. If you do have, so it'll come with the backpack anyway. But same backpack as Nomad and Nemo's today. So.
Okay, so the Nomad Mini doesn't come with a backpack.
It does come. Yeah. It does come with a backpack.
So it's about the exact same size then?
Yeah, it's a little bit smaller than the Nomad, a little bit taller than the Nemo. So, and then when you have the second dive battery connected, so if you have the dive boost kit and one battery in it, you are kind of getting to the top of the backpack. So you can't fit the unit with 2 dive boost kits on it. So to have 3 batteries connected, it won't fit in the backpack at that point. But if you do have 2 batteries connected, it will still fit.
Okay, and the Nomad Mini, you could put 3 batteries together with it?
You could, yeah. So if each battery is giving you about 40 minutes of runtime, that would put you at what 2 hours or so in the water.
Oh, that's quite a long time.
Yeah,
It is a long time.
Now, recharging the batteries, is there? And I think I should know this, but I don't. If they're going to spend the day at the beach, is there a rechargeable? The batteries are rechargeable, obviously. Do you have a car kit or something they can recharge the battery with, or?
So the chargers themselves are very low power, only draw about 40 watts. So what's nice is if you have an inverter for your car, you can charge it off of that. An inverter is something you can plug into like a cigarette outlet, and then it gives you AC outlets. Mm-hmm. Also, there's like Lion Energy builds a nice battery pack with an inverter built in, which is somewhat portable. You can find these in different places where you could actually just bring that to the beach with you and set that up. Or you can just buy additional batteries. And we've made Nomad Mini, we've made the battery swap process, I think, easier than Nemo and easier than Nomad. So to swap batteries is fairly simple.
Are they the same batteries for the Mini and the Nemo, or is it a different battery?
Correct. Yeah. So Nomad Mini uses the same batteries as Nemo.
Okay, because Iffy Signals had asked, will you also sell the Mini without batteries for customers who already have the Nemo battery?
Correct. Yep. That is definitely something you can do, which is super nice because now your Nemo batteries can power a 15-foot dive system.
Okay.
But you need to use 2 of them.
And the other question I have, Blake, you're not, somebody's on there from Blue 3?
Yeah.
Because you're not,
actually,
I don't see you typing, so that must be one of your people.
Yeah, see, that's that team, that great team that we have.
Yeah, they're right on top of it.
They must be, because I was saying I don't see Blake typing, and then I'm reading that.
Either that, he's got the Braille method down real good.
Yeah, no, we've got the AI set up for StreamYard. No.
Yeah, well, the thing.
Yeah, that's David.
If somebody already has the Nemo and the batteries, I'd get the extra batteries. You keep them charged, you just swap them out.
Exactly. When you're out there having
a good metal detectors, like you can't never have enough of them. You got to have enough. Can't never have enough batteries.
Well, and that's what it comes down to. That's what's so revolutionary about these products. Really, is if you were doing a dive at the beach on a scuba tank and you finished up your dive and you said, man, I really wish I could go for more. Well, either you had lugged an extra 30-pound scuba tank down to the beach, or now you have to go to the dive shop and refill it. But if you have a couple extra batteries on hand, you can swap them in, or recharge them off of a solar panel and not make any trips to the dive shop, or just eliminating that hassle.
Yeah. Well, just as long as it's not going to make that big a difference in the price tag. So just get the extra batteries and be better. Because one thing about batteries, anything that goes in salt water, I think you'll agree, like sometimes the salt water is going to do damage to these products. It doesn't make any difference what it is. After such a period of time, it's better to have backups, right?
Yeah. The batteries hold up maybe better than people would expect in salt water. I could see a lot of people may expect that not to be the case, but they're all O-ring sealed around the outside and glued on the inside. And then you have pretty sturdy O-ring seal on the battery connector and gold-plated contacts. And so in the event that you do accidentally get some salt water on there, as long as you don't take a wire brush or something to clean it off, those gold-plated contacts will hold up. So yeah, the batteries are very durable in salt water if used properly. And
care instructions, proper maintenance and care instructions do come with every product, correct?
Right. Yeah. I think a lot of the time you can tell the quality of a product, just random things that I buy, by the user manual. When you look at the instructions for setup and the user manual and things like that.
Yeah.
So our user manual is very thorough, but you can definitely find the information you need. And if not, you can email us at support@diveblue.com or go on our website and chat with us. And we're usually there to help. So.
Well, one thing we always say here at Treasure Talk, and that is, Phil, read the manual.
Read your manual, yes, for sure. And I was just watching the comments here. And I was looking, Blue 3 typed in, the backpack is the same for Nemo, Nomad Mini, and Nomad. And the Nemo is 10 pounds, the Mini is 12 pounds, and the Nomad is 15 pounds. So getting the Nomad Mini 2 more pounds, it's not going to take much hauling that down to the beach. Except for your weight belt, you need a nice weight belt. That can be a little heavy for a big guy.
Yeah, weight belts. That's something I wish we could innovate around, but not seeing any physics opportunities with that one.
Yeah, for a guy like me, you need a lot of weight to sink in the salt water because of my weight. Tom Becker, he says, I remember you talking about the surface unit is protected if a wave crashes over it so it doesn't stop, but I can't remember the details. You want to talk about that, Blake, in rough water?
I guess the it could be one of two things. So one thing is that other compressors will pretty much fail immediately if they ingest any sort of water or salt water. Our compressors can handle that as long as the water is not mixed with a bunch of sand. So the pump can't really handle sand, but let's say you accidentally get some water in or flip it over by accident, it should be okay. The other thing is that with Nomad and with Nomad Mini, they're self-righting and they have a very low center of gravity. So even though it may look odd to not have the flotation ring around it like a Nemo does, there's some benefits to the alternative. And it's very stable. It may bob a little bit left and right, but it stays upright enough so that the flag can stay in the air and the top of the intake stays dry. But also what it does when you use the dry bag float, so the float that tows in front of the unit instead of the flotation ring around it, that reduces the amount of drag. It's a bit more streamlined. And so as you're towing the unit with your harness, you don't feel it kind of jerk on you quite as much. So obviously it depends on where you're diving, what your plan is. I see a lot of people like to use the flotation ring as a place to set some items that they find, maybe some shark's teeth or whatever they're searching for. So that's cool. But I tend to like the dry bag float because it's more streamlined, especially when you're going through waves.
Hey, this one is from Rick T, and he's asking, are the dive flags necessary?
Dive flags are definitely necessary. That's actually a law. And so in most states in the US, they need to be 12 inches by 12 inches, which our flags meet that criteria. There's actually two different types of dive flags around the world. So you have the red and white flag, which is what you'll see in the United States. And then you have the alpha flag, which most common, I guess, for Australia and then some countries throughout Europe. You'll also see the alpha flag being used on, I think, boat vessels like in Canada and stuff. But anyway, we don't want you to have to worry about that. So when we ship you the product, we actually just include both types of dive flags. And in the off chance you end up flying over to Australia for some diving, you have your alpha flag ready to go.
Or if you go to Canada with that 72-degree bath water, right?
Yeah. I wonder what the divers are doing down in Canada. I've started trying to get into the cold plunge, like the ice bath stuff, and I think that's turning me less into a Florida man. So, growing up in Florida, cold water has never been my friend, but trying to embrace it at this point.
Well, there's a lot of rum consumed in Canada, I think. When
yeah.
Well, it looks like Jeff has got the phone number up there, so we must be going to give something away.
Yes, we are indeed. And Blake has been nice enough to offer up 3 Dive Blue 3 caps, top quality caps. So we're going to have 3 winners tonight. Now, as always, you had to be a member of Treasure Talk on Facebook or Treasure Talk YouTube. And you have to be tuned in to win. And you had to enter the proper phrase that I gave you on the entry, which was Nemo or Nomad Mini. I can't decide. So what you do is you get yourself a Nemo and then get yourself a Nomad Mini, and you got it all covered. So no decisions necessary. But as I said, you had to enter that, and you had to be a member. And I did check, so I have the names right here of the winners and some alternates. If you're not watching, you'll have 3 minutes to text me at my phone number with your name, and you are here. If and only if your name is called. Text me within 3 minutes with your name and that you are here. So I'm going to read off 3 names. So get ready. Aggie Hall, NV Metal Detecting, and Kathy Bacorn. You got 3 minutes to text with your name and that you're here.
For sure, and they'll be the lucky winners.
That's right.
So, Blake, you said you have different locations that people could go and experience the Blue 3 Nemo.
Yeah, so the guided tours thing is something we've been working on for a while. So this summer, we're looking forward to opening some new locations. One that we're really excited about is that you're going to be able to go into the rivers of North Carolina soon and do some diving there. So that's not something I really ever expected, but we've just learned so many different uses and applications. And the North Carolina thing gets me really excited because now you're opening up kind of this idea of diving to people who maybe wouldn't have been exposed to it otherwise, in the mountains of North Carolina. So I'm hoping that we're able to get some of those people hooked. And then next thing you know, they'll travel down to South Florida and come dive with us down here or wherever and open their eyes to the ocean. And just kind of expose them to how important the ocean is to their daily life. So that all ties really back into our mission, and I think it's so exciting. So, so a great way to promote kind of education and hands-on training as well.
Yeah, for sure. There's so many uses for your product because I know we have parades here in Tampa, and I always see them on Bayshore Boulevard at Dive Gear, and they're cleaning up all the necklaces and stuff that gets thrown in the water after parades. And I was thinking, man, that would be a good use for a blue Nemo because it's shallow water. It's less than 10 feet, and there's just so many uses for that product.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, and
Yeah, and treasure hunting was not really at the top of our list, and when we launched the product, but immediately it just took off. Nemo especially, because it just fit the need so well. And so it's been exciting to see just all of the YouTube videos pop up. Just you see people with some amazing finds all around the world, whether it's Australia to the Netherlands, Italy, the Bahamas. So I wonder if anybody on here has some favorite YouTubers that we need to connect with. Leave it in the comments.
Mermaid treasure hunter for one.
Yeah.
Jeff,
I've seen her videos before.
Huh?
Does she use the Nemo?
She has used the Nemo, yes, so check her out. Aggie Hall did not respond. We have Nevada Metal Detecting and Kathy McCorn that did react. So Mandy's Candy, if you are watching, you are next in line. You got 3 minutes to text.
Well, my buddy Joe Vizzi says, Phil, the only issue with Bayshore Boulevard area is it's loaded with bull sharks. Well, I didn't say I was going to use the blue Nemo there. I said it was a good use for it there. So, do you run into sharks that often, Blake?
Unfortunately, no. We see some nurse sharks around here. But, seeing sharks on the reef is a really good sign. When sharks are there, that means the ecosystem may be doing well. A lack of sharks is not a good sign, but
Well, I always see
a little more intimidating, though.
Yeah, I always see a lot of shark bites on the East Coast, from swimmers, accidental thing, because I think our water clarity over here on the West Coast, we probably have more sharks, but less people get bit on our side for some reason.
Yeah, it seems like very rarely with divers, though, right?
Yeah.
So with swimmers, yeah, I think it's definitely an accidental. Just what's this?
Let's just take a bite out of their ankle or their foot, and we don't have that over here on our coast very often. I think it's because our water is clear and they can see easier.
Yeah, it's always exciting to see some sharks underwater, especially reef sharks, tiger sharks, but you don't see them too often, and a lot of the reefs are missing some fish. So.
And it's because of the environment that we're losing the fish, or like the invasive species, like you talked about the lionfish. Do you think they're part of the problem?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of different human factors, and it really depends where in the world you're talking. So while that sounds like a bad thing, it's also kind of a good thing because it's stuff that we have control over. Whether it's water quality or overfishing or just reefs having problems, and we're involved in hopefully aiding and adding artificial reefs wherever we set up some guided tour locations. That's one of the things we want to do. We want to provide ways to install artificial reefs and help the ecosystem, but also provide people with a nice little comfortable way to start shore diving and get their first diving experiences. So a lot of really cool things like that. But we're all big on the ocean and what we can do to give back. So we joined as a member of 1% for the Planet. So we donate some equipment. There's some Nemos that just made their way down to Panama for some research with the Duke University Marine Lab. So really excited to see what they do down there. They're going to be diving in, grass beds that are 4 to 5 feet deep. And these researchers are going to be diving nonstop. And to refill tanks down there is quite expensive and adds some time. So now using their Nemos, they're going to get a lot more time in the water with a lot lower expense. And so we supported them with that. So we get a lot of involved in a lot of cool things. Get to learn a little bit, but
And plus another thing they can do, if you're just out, cruising the reef and looking and seeing, if you see some trash, pick it up. Carry yourself a little net bag and just pick the trash up, because there's nothing sadder than you see one of those beautiful sea turtles and see like a plastic thing from a six-pack on their head or a straw in their nose or something stupid. I mean, it's really sad. So
yeah,
if you see stuff like that, you're all treasure hunters. So if you're dirt digging or whatever, and all of us that do hunt in the water are waders, when we take trash, we take the trash with us. So if you're going to use a Nemo or a Nomad Mini and you're going to cruise the reefs, take the trash with you. Even if it's not yours, do the right thing because it'll keep the reef better for you the next time you want to see it.
Absolutely.
exactly.
And we
That
do
is
have
something I
our
love.
limits, by the way.
That's something I love about the treasure hunting community. It seems like everybody's pretty good about that.
Yeah, we're always removing trash. That's our main. We look for the treasure, but we're taking all the iron, the lead, everything. We're taking it with us. So our hobby is very good for the environment because we're removing the trash.
Yeah, I've been diving with a cool product recently called Trash Bag. It's spelled trash bag without an A. And it's actually made from like recycled boats and stuff like that. So they use trash from the ocean to make a little trash bag. It's a nice little Velcro patch that attaches to your hip.
Oh, that's cool.
So hopefully we'll have some blue branded ones of those, and maybe that'll be our giveaway item on the next edition of this, or next time, hopefully if I get invited back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Sam Truckley said, and I lost it that quick. It disappeared.
He says, better yet, don't be trashy.
Don't be trashy.
That's right. So we did have all three of our winners. And what you have to do now is you have to email treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. It's right up on the screen. Your name, address, and phone number. I will get that to Blake, and he will get your cap out to you, and you can be styling and profiling and get your fingers ready to place an order with Phil for a Nomad Mini pre-order or a Nemo that he's got in stock. Better get her done.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, it's just amazing how much trash treasure hunters pull out of the water. I mean, I'm always amazed all the junk and the weird things that we find in the water. So keep the work, keep going, guys, and dig all the trash out of the water. Keep everything our environment cleaner for sure.
That's right.
It's good to have a knife in case there's some sort of line and stuff as well. Like we come across a lot of fishing line, but you would never want to get entangled or anything. So you do have to be careful to a degree. But
for sure.
Just use good common sense and, police the area is a good way to put it, I think.
Recently, we had our pier here on Commercial Boulevard, England's Pier, got destroyed by one of the hurricanes. So there's no fishermen out there. And so we've been diving kind of in that area. And typically it's just full of sinkers and fishing line.
Oh, I imagine.
It's been kind of nice to see it free. And you just see massive bait balls and tarpon and all kinds of cool stuff. So that is an area where we have guided tours. So come on down and see us. If you go on a guided tour and you pay for that experience, if you decide to buy a product afterwards, you can put the cost of the experience towards the product, which is cool as well.
Boy, you can't beat that with a big stick.
No, you can't. And it looks like Jeff has a comment from Dig, Florida. Metal detectors are the unsung heroes of the beach, making it safer one piece of trash at a time. Yes, we are. We're cleaning the beach for sure. And Blake, it looks like we're at our magic time here. An hour went by really fast.
Flew by. There's so much to talk about. But hey,
it's awesome. Thank you for coming on here and talking about your new products. Can't wait to have them in the shop for sure.
I can't wait to see some in the water and on YouTube, and that's how I get to catch up on what everybody's using them for is on YouTube. So keep posting your videos, Mermaid Treasure Hunter, and whoever else was on here.
If any of y'all got an idea for a YouTube video, just send it to treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. I'll make sure I get it to Blake, and let's saturate the world with Nomad Mini.
There you go, for sure. Well, Blake, thank you for being on here. Thank you, Jeff. Happy birthday again. Yesterday was Jeff's birthday,
Yes,
so
it was. I'm old, old, old.
we're
Happy
gonna
birthday and happy Memorial Day.
Yes,
happy
and
Memorial Day, folks. And thank you, Blake, Jeff, and thank you, Jocelyn, for helping me out here tonight. And I guess that's it for me.
yeah, and next week is going to be a really interesting show. We're going to have the Lost Dutchman's Mine will
Oh,
be
that's
on the
cool.
show, and they're talking about gold prospecting. So be looking out for tomorrow when I put the giveaway up for that. And what we're going to be giving away is we're going to be giving away a 3-day camping RV, sleep in your car weekend in Mount Nebo, North Carolina. That's where you get to pan for gold and all that kind of good stuff. And the second prize will be a 25-pound bag of gold dirt that you can sift through and see if you got any gold in it. So make sure you're with us next Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lost Dutchman Mine will be in the house, and we'll be prospecting for gold. So
Awesome.
Blake, thanks so much for spending some time with us. It's very exciting, the products you guys make, and you're just selling excitement. And
Sure.
it's really great. And it's just a top quality product. And we thank you so much for letting our audience know about your products. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Jocelyn. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Absolutely. Happy
Good
hunting.
night, everybody.
I'll see you, Blake. Thank you.
Thank you.